Hey guys, Dean here. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 NFT projects to invest in. Now, I'll be making a video soon all about NFTs, what they are, and how to get into the market and get invested real soon. So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out that video. But this particular video is going to be talking about the top 5 NFT projects right now that you should invest in and the reasons why, and just some of the projects which I've kept a keen eye on recently. I'm a fairly new NFT investor, but I did see a little bit of success with flipping one of the NFTs in this project list, so it might be worth just sharing my experience. A lot of people are looking to get into the market due to hype and basically a craze train recently, and I'm going to talk about the projects which I believe in and mention a little bit of experience in here too. This is based on my experience and my personal projections, so a little disclaimer is that you shouldn't really take this as financial advice. This is a disclaimer that all channels really have to stress, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. Before making any financial investments or decisions, you should consider your own personal financial situation and only invest or spend money on things that you're able to lose comfortably and basically part ways with without putting yourself in any kind of financial distress or a bad situation. So all choices should be your own, and this video is for research purposes only. So let's jump into the first project. So on my list here, the 5th project, number 5, is Decentraland. So I've made a list of all the notes here, the projects which I have recorded and the reasons why I'm invested into them. So basically Decentraland is a virtual world and it's owned by users that can create, experience and monetize the content and applications on the Ethereum blockchain. So it's basically an NFT project which has an implementation into an actual virtual ecosystem. This basically has a pretty thriving community from what I've seen from the research, and it has players or virtual world inhabitants that foster a pretty large alternate reality economy on the blockchain. So this is basically a project where buying and selling assets is possible. So you basically buy and sell land assets in native virtual currency, which isn't crypto, it's basically currency native to the game or the system, and it's just a pretty interesting project. There's 5,200 owners, there's 97,000 pieces on OpenSea, so this is a pretty interesting project, and it just seemed really unique to me because obviously most projects are very similar nowadays and some of them are just purely art, but NFT projects like this where there's actually purpose behind it is pretty cool. I hadn't really seen anything like it in comparison to the others, so I feel like it's going to do well and take off, and it seems to be doing pretty decent so far already. So number 4, the one that I've chosen, is Art Blocks. So Art Blocks is basically a first of its kind generative art collection, and it's based on the Ethereum blockchain, and it's programmable art that's based on a chosen style. So for an example, this is like a virtual art gallery ecosystem where you select art that you like and it generates a piece specifically for you. So let's get into the information around this. So basically you choose a style and you pay, and then it algorithmically generates a randomized piece of this content and sends it to your Ethereum wallet and stores it on the blockchain, resulting in a static image, a 3D model, or some kind of interactive art piece which you own in your Ethereum wallet. So it's pretty interesting. Quite a standout project, which is things that we're kind of looking here. There's endless possibilities and outcomes for the outputted NFT that you buy, and everything's going to be unique. So it's home to multiple art projects which can be purchased and minted directly on the website, and it rewards you with a randomized piece of art from the project's collection, which I thought was fairly unique. It's basically, in my opinion, like real world modern art but in the digital space, and obviously you have the proof of ownership via an ERC token on the Ethereum blockchain. So it's kind of like you physically owning art like in the real world, but it's the most realistic implementation of real art collecting on the blockchain that I've personally seen before, because it has like an art gallery approach and feel to it on the website, which is really cool. And they have curated projects and playground projects on the platform, which if you check them out on OpenSea, they're separate collections containing many different pieces. So that's quite interesting. And personally, I think the technology behind this project's pretty cool. It seems really super professional, like I mentioned before, and this to me gives the project real merit. And obviously it's already so popular that you can see that it seems to be working, and that's why I think investing in art in the NFT collection has potential for real world profit and high stakes, as we've seen already, because it seems to be the best simulation of real world art holding, which I've personally seen as an NFT so far. Now the reason why this stuck out is because many of these pieces have already sold for millions, which is pretty crazy. So it shows there is true real value in here, and people have genuine interest in the art too. The third one, number 3, which I chose, was the Loot Project. So this is another project which is already huge and why I think it's lucrative to invest in. Obviously the pieces probably won't be cheap for this particular project, but it's a collection collection of 8,000 NFT pieces, and these are basically generative pieces which present themselves as a text-based list which comprises of different items based off RPG games. So it's basically known as like a loot bag or a loot list, and you'll have different names of items which could be from RPG style loot in a video game, which is pretty interesting as a concept. And when I first saw that people were paying so much money for literally a list of text which has no interactive elements, I was pretty mind boggled at first, and that was kind of when I first got introduced to NFTs, and I thought it was a waste of money. But it's actually pretty crazy how much people are willing to spend on these, especially this particular project, which is why it stuck out. So each are basically algorithmically generated lists of items, and each have a different occurrence. So originally they were purchased with only the gas fee and no actual minting price, which I guess made them so lucrative to first obtain. And there's no kind of rules or systems behind the actual project, which made it quite appealing for people. It has ridden a huge hype train of hype since its drop, so it's been a pretty popular project, and it spawned many different copycat projects like a lot of the large scale ones do. For an example, Weird Whales, we've seen like 100 other collections trying to rip off the success of that one. But there's a large community behind the loot project. Each loot bag is basically owned by obtaining the NFT, which then offers the mintable ERC721 token to prove the non-fungible ownership, which is linked to your Ethereum wallet. So it's pretty interesting. It's just like any other NFT, and I didn't really tend to understand the value of it initially. For anyone who's a fan of RPG games and projects and just has a lot of money to invest in NFTs, this may just be an interesting project to get behind, and the initial sales of some of these just generally speak for themselves, because it shows this pretty expensive, the prices of some of these NFTs. So number 2, the second one which I chose, is Sloth Gang. So Sloth Gang is basically a collection of algorithmically generated NFTs which are living on the Ethereum blockchain. It's basically 10,000 different sloth NFTs based on the ERC721 token for proof of ownership, which is linked to a smart contract. So this is basically an avatar collection on the Ethereum blockchain. Each NFT basically belongs to a unique species of sloths in terms of the art, and each of them are digital collections offering ownership, like I mentioned. So basically, if you're an owner or a holder, and if you invest in the project or mint the NFTs for the art, then you'll receive special roles and permissions in the Discord group and basically for the project. So for an example, if there's any kind of airdrops or future drops, you'll get the news about them first. You'll get access to all of the collections and teasers on the project before anyone else. So you basically kind of get a ticket into the club and the membership perks by holding one of these sloths. So there's actually bonuses and real world perks that you get for owning one of these avatar pieces. It's not just a collection usually where you buy the avatar and you set it as your Discord or YouTube profile and then that's it. You are going to get news of future collections. You're going to be able to collaborate, offer your own ideas, participate in votes, join the giveaways where you can get free NFTs, and basically join a large growing community. Now the community is growing and it's pretty strong so far, and I'm actually part of this community. I am actually helping the Sloth Gang community grow, so I do have that affiliation to the project, and that's because I do really like the art in this project, and I think the avatars are really cool. If you want to join the server on Discord, the link will be down below, and the minting of the project, I believe, is launching on November the 30th. So this is a really cool art piece to collect, and if you like collecting avatar based NFTs, this might be a cool one to watch, and I feel like it might be the next avatar collection that's going to pop off, hopefully. And this is a project which I got involved in because I really like that it's the first unique sloth concept in terms of NFTs, because I've seen 100 different whale collections and thousands of mutant apes and their rip-offs, but I haven't seen any sloths yet, so pretty interesting. And at number 1, I'm going to feature Robotos, which is a cool collection which is based on the artist Pablo Stanley's work. Now, I got recommended Robotos by one of my friends who's a big NFT holder, and he's pretty rich and has a lot of holdings in NFTs, so I took his advice to get one of these Robotos. And at first, he was kind of just shilling the project to me to kind of help it grow and give it a shove, but the value actually raised quite a bit. I basically came in on the entry price of 0.5 ETH, and then at its height I think it went up to 1.5 or 1.6 ETH. Right now the floor price has dropped drastically, so the profit potential still is there, but I did make a big profit off this. I think originally, I ended up selling it at 0.8 ETH, so I missed when it really hit the price spike, unfortunately, but I made a nice healthy profit off the Robotos. But just generally, I think the art is pretty good. It's basically pieced together in the form of different traits, so you have different outfits, faces, backpacks, animated pieces. They are GIFs, so you do have a lot of animated elements of them. So they work well as avatars, but they have interactive animated elements to them too. As a Roboto holder or previous owner, I did actually mint a Robopet, which is an NFT you can obtain just from owning one of the Robotos, which I minted before I sold my Roboto. I have a friend, I think, who owns like 6 of them, which is pretty cool. And I think for the long term, they could be a pretty cool NFT to actually hold. And if you like the art, it's just really cool to kind of join the project and support it. There's fan art and real genuine interest behind the project, and they host things like meetings, updates, and different drops and additions to the project all the time. So it's not just a pump and dump that just disappears. It is actually a project which is ongoing and has real life behind it. And that concludes the top 5 NFTs. All the links will be in the description below, so you can check out those NFTs. If you want to obtain some of these projects before the minting goes live, do check those out down below, just like the Sloth Gang project, which is launching at the end of this month for the minting website to open. For more videos on finance, money making, business, cryptocurrency, and investing in stocks, for an example, do subscribe to the channel with notifications so you don't miss out on more videos in those categories. I have videos on investing in ETFs and index funds, how to invest in stocks for beginners, and a video on cryptocurrency if you need to understand that. I will be making an NFT video soon to let people know what NFTs are and how to get into the space easy for beginners, so do look out for that video. You can check out some of those videos on the right hand side of the video or in the link in the description below, or just click on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.